Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Mountaineer Postgame Show. I'm Schuyler. That's Christopher Hall live from the WVU Coliseum. The Mountaineers fall to the Arizona State Sun Devils 65-57. Quick look here at the numbers. Jonathan Powell, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Javon Small, 14 points, but only went 2 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 8 from three-point range. Just not a good night for him. Arizona State did a really good job of just swarming him, keeping the ball away, giving him some very tough looks. For Arizona State, it was Bashir Jihad that led the way in scoring with 17 points and 8 rebounds. And really, the big difference in this game was the rebounding. It's pretty clear. It's pretty evident. 46 rebounds to West Virginia's 28. Also, the Mountaineers only shot 4 of 29 from three-point range. You get crushed on the boards. You don't shoot the three ball well. This is kind of the result you would expect.
Didn't shoot it anywhere well.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't do anything well.
Well, the free throw line.
Gave up way too many offensive boards, second chance points. They ended up with 16. They had 15 with 8 minutes left in the game. So definitely one of those nights where they didn't have the legs. Javon Small was walking up and down the floor. He definitely didn't have any energy. Sincere Harris has been battling a bug, some kind of virus since prior to Iowa State. So with not many bodies, but at the same time, Arizona State has been dealing with injuries. They're playing 7 guys. So obviously, Arizona State's the more desperate team coming in losing 4 straight, and they definitely played like it because they out-hustled West Virginia on every step. They were late on the rotations, didn't move offensively, and it was just like they just thought they could show up and win tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody kind of looked at this as a possible nightmare situation, a nightmare scenario, and that's exactly kind of what panned out. You beat the number 2 team in the country. You only get 2 full days off, and then you're back at it. It's a 9 o'clock Eastern tip, which is a really late tip. Kind of expected a little bit of a slow start, which happened, but then they kind of weathered the storm. They bounced back. They got out to a 6-point lead, 17-11. And at that point, you almost kind of felt like they were going to start to build a little bit of a lead and maybe just kind of keep their distance. But Arizona State threw on the brakes on that really quickly. They got back on track, and really it was really their game all the way throughout after that, especially at the start of the second half. They came out and just punched West Virginia right in the mouth. It was about 7 or 8 minutes maybe into the second half before WVU got their first field goal. So, I mean, that's the stuff that's going to happen, and you can't have these types of games if you want to be a contender in the Big 12. And look, it's year 1 under Darren DeVries. Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves talking about this kind of stuff, but when you go out and you beat the teams that they've beat, it's kind of hard to not talk about it. But this is a week where they had to absolutely take care of business. You're 0-1, and now you're going to Manhattan. No road trip is easy in this league, even against a team that's under 500. You got to feel like you got to get this one out against K-State.
Yeah, a little extra rest time. Still don't understand why East Coast teams are playing at 9 o'clock. Seems a little silly.
It's almost catered to the West Coast folks.
Yeah, not understanding that, especially when West Virginia has to end the year playing at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock before coming back up to UCF. So it's life. We're not new to this. It's been a thing. I mean, hell, Huggins complained about the travel forever. It's obviously gotten worse. But it is what it is. Again, Arizona State shorthanded. They're missing arguably their best player, albeit he's a freshman guard, but he's projected to be a first-round draft pick. And granted, I think this would have been the 5th of the last 6 games they've been without him. But it kind of is what it is. I mean, I don't think anybody had any delusions that they were going to go win the regular season title, but you definitely want to stay within those top 4. And this is definitely a tough one to take. You don't want to lose these home games. You almost want to take this one and take the loss at Kansas State because road game at the home, you got to protect home floor if you want to stay on the upper part of the rankings. They did still win at Kansas, so maybe you can kind of trade that off if you kind of look at it, but you still have to probably still win that you thought you were going to lose on the road because you lost at home to Arizona. Albeit like beginning of the year, we thought probably both had that one as a loss. I don't remember. I think I had them protecting home court advantage. So right now they're going to have to go steal another one that you thought they were going to lose on the road. Kind of keep pace and get yourself a good seeding because really, when you kind of look at it, if you're kind of looking at the future, yeah, this team wasn't going to go win the regular season conference, but at the same time, you want to get in good position And really, if you can get an NCAA tournament, this team has the making that they can make a run in the NCAA tournament. Like they're not going to have, they can play those 2 games in 2 games because they're going to have 5 days off prior to that. So
Yeah.
again, you just got to keep building that resume. This is a tough one, but it's not going to knock you out of the tournament. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of crazy talk out there, but this doesn't kill. This doesn't knock you out of the tournament. It doesn't put you in the bubble watch. You just got to go take care of business. You're going to have nights like this prior to the season. You're probably thought there were going to be a lot of nights like this coming in.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to take this one on and chin and move on. And lucky for this team, they haven't lost back-to-back games all year. They've bounced back every single time with a win. So unfortunate they don't have a winning streak. They haven't started a winning streak in the new year, so they have a chance, I believe. No, they won't. Actually, they won't get a winning streak before the end of January now. So
Yeah.
maybe they can go into February with one and kind of see how they bounce back from this on Saturday because you're going to play another desperate team in Kansas State, which we know Jerome Tang had a. It's been downhill since he took over a couple years ago. I think they went to NIT this year, and I think they're 7-10, 7-11 now, somewhere around there. So they're obviously desperate for a win, and with a number next to your name, they're going to come out swinging.
Yeah, the one thing that I don't want to be too nitpicky here because I mean you do have to manage these guys' energy and their fatigue, and when you have only 7 to 8 men that you're going to play in a given night, it's kind of hard to say, well, you maybe could have pressed a little bit earlier. But I'm just curious,
It
had
would
they
have been a lot
maybe
worse because they were late in rotations defensively on the half court. So
well,
them running up the floor
I
wasn't
think
going
at
to
that
happen.
point
Javon
you're
Small was
just
walking
hoping
up and
that
down
they
the
turn the
floor.
ball over. You're not worried about half court defense at that point. When you're down 10 points, you're just trying to create turnovers, and if they don't happen in the front or the back court, then it is what it is. I don't think it was ever going to be to play a full 30-second shot clock. Like it was just to create turnovers. But I'm curious if they had done that a couple minutes earlier. Maybe they do get Arizona State to turn it over a few more times. They're a careless team with the basketball. They're like 280th in the country in turnovers. They're probably going to turn it over a few more times. But obviously, it all came down to offense, and they didn't shoot the ball well enough. Again, they denied Javon Small, and it's been a talking point all year, especially since Tucker's been out. You don't have a second reliable scorer. Amani Hansberry's shown that he can do it every now and then. Jonathan Powell can do it every now and then, but you don't have a secondary scorer where if Javon Small is taken out of the game like he was tonight, who do you turn to? And that's a big question. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams that kind of carbon copy this game plan that Arizona State had against WU tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that we didn't see from, I think it was Oklahoma State. There's been a lot of trapping. He just didn't have it in him tonight. He was tired. It's
No, he looked
evident.
gassed. They
He
all
he
looked
he,
gassed.
he went out once because of cramps, and again, I think you just gotta have to roll with it. The rebounding looks bad, but when you miss, how many shots did they miss? 40? Yeah, I mean
Oh, it was a ton.
that's 40. They were 18 and 58, so that's 40 shots. So you're going to give up a lot of rebounds at that point. And they had a lot of good looks. Like they had plenty of good looks, just nothing was falling for them. Just didn't have the legs to get it up over the rim. So take the loss, see if they can't bounce back and get back in the win column Saturday, and see if they can't get revenge on Houston next Wednesday.
Yep, so that is the next one at West Virginia at Kansas State on Saturday. That one will tip off at 6 o'clock Eastern time. West Virginia tries to get to 14-5. Again, tonight your final score: Arizona State 65, West Virginia 57. That'll do it for us here on the Mountaineer Postgame Show. I'm Schuyler Callihan. That's Chris Rawl. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here on our YouTube page at West Virginia on SI. Give us a follow on X at SI_WVU. Thank you guys and have a good night.